Now, when is hair and makeup coming?
Yeah.
They've already come for Anna. Oh, hi. Well, hello. Hi, this is a mini Philip Files. We're going to try something new today. I have a new co-host.
Yeah.
It's called The Invisible Man. He's not quite invisible, and I don't know for sure. I'm just going to assume he's a man. Anyway. Cover up. Don't be so vulgar. Okay. No. Oh, yes, I'm sorry. My new co-host is,
I've been having a cough attack.
Is Susanna
Yeah.
Ruth Fanstill.
Yeah.
Also known as my daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, we took some poles and we painted them and then we put them back in place. We also asked some questions. And our YouTube audience told me to give up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
And get a better co-host. So
yeah.
I didn't give up, but I got a better co-host, and they also said to make quicker videos.
He got Invisible Man.
Good luck with that, right? So,
he got Invisible Man.
No, I got you.
Oh.
Okay, so Anna and I are Anna and me, or me and Anna. Oh, I don't know.
The Invisible Man.
The Invisible Man. Yeah. Well, it's not quite invisible. He's more transparent. Yeah. Thanks for joining me today.
Yeah.
Anna.
And also,
just don't say anything else. Never talk. Be seen and not heard.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm such a monster. Okay, yes, Anna, go ahead and say something. I'll give you 5 seconds. Okay, so now today we're going to talk about what, Anna?
We're talking about Nebbie's dream.
Nebbie's dream. Now, Nebbie is the you got Nessie in Loch Ness, and the Nebbie is in Loch Neb. It's lesser known because it's actually about that big, and the lake Nebbie's is like one of those old sea monkeys, water monkeys. Yeah. Anyway, but Nebbie's dream. Well, Nebbie's dream is very similar to another Nebbie, and Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar in Daniel 3, in Daniel chapter 3, Nebuchadnezzar has a dream. Do you know what that dream was, Anna?
I have no idea. What is it?
His dream is that one day, white men, black men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, tall, short, ugly, beautiful, would one day all join hands and bow down to a golden image that he had erected, or be thrown into a
fire.
A fire, yes, a furnace.
Furnace fire.
Yeah, furnace fire.
This is the story that you ought to know about Shadrach. What kind of name is that? Meshach. Who has a name like that? Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I'm sorry. Chapter 3, he had a different dream about a different statue. It's a little confusing. Okay.
Yeah.
And this statue was this statue, modesty. Okay, modesty, people. Okay, this statue had a head of gold.
I can't speak.
Them gold and them thy hills. Okay, so he had a head of gold, and what you cannot see is he had a chest of silver. Silver. And then, okay, we're just gonna go. It's a PG show for. I'm so sorry. Okay, take the kids out of the room and let them watch SpongeBob. Okay, so. Well, he's naked too. So anyway, okay, so here we have a chest of silver, and then a midsection of bronze, and then legs of iron. He had legs of iron, and then feet of
clay.
Mixture of clay and iron.
They're both. There's clay and iron.
So this is the dream that he had. Now he does a smooth one. He tells all of his magicians and sorcerers. What does he tell them?
He's like,
Exactly.
Translate my dream.
But he says it in Chaldean. So
he translate my dream, and they're like, okay. He's like, tell us first, and he's like, no, you tell me my dream.
See, I think Nebuchadnezzar had been fooled a few times, and he was starting to wise up to it, because he would tell them his dreams or whatever, and they just make up some.
You're like,
bogus.
oh yes, what's on the top of my head? Oh yes, this.
Yeah, so though he has this, he
Yeah.
he says, hey, only the people that are really in touch with the gods, they would not only be able to interpret the dream, but they would be able to tell me what the dream was.
Yeah.
Pretty smooth move. And of course, the only person that can do it is
no one except for Daniel.
Daniel and his 3 friends, Shadrach, and Benny. And so,
Meshach, Meshach, and Abednego.
oh yes, lived in Judah a long time ago. They had funny names, but they lived far away. And this is a story we're gonna cut from the video. Okay, so Shadrach and Benny, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, or Mishael. They had Hebrew names, but no one knows them.
We'll just put them on the screen.
Yeah, Shadrach, Meshach, and okay, speaking of upside down, so Daniel interprets it. Now, one of the things that he talks about, and in this book, these lost in translation books that I've been pushing, okay, so really good books, but they argue that the dream is actually an upside down menorah. And this is interesting, because most people that I've heard talk about this dream, they always talk about it in the sense that you start at the head of gold, then you have Persia, the Medes and Persians, and then you have Greece, and then you have the Roman Empire, and then you have this mixture, which is, some people would say the Holy Roman Empire, some people would say different things, okay? But you have this mixture at the bottom here.
Yeah.
Well, they argue, wait a second, no, this is the head, but if it's an upside down menorah, then you have the Shamash position, the gold position, Babylon, then you have Medes and Persia, then you have Greece, and you have Rome, then you have this mixture, which would be, I guess, a 9th.
Yeah.
Okay, then you have an 8th one over here. Well, if this is the Babylonian, the head, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Then you go backwards.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. So to go backwards, you have...
Back to the days of Noah.
Man, it's like you're clairvoyant. It's like we've done this before. Okay, but this is good. Okay, so so you have Assyria, then you have Egypt, then you have Babylon, the first Babylon under, who was the first king of the world? King of the world!
Something with an N.
Leonardo DiCaprio. No, I'm sorry. First king of the world was Nimrod.
I knew it. I said it.
But what you were saying, very good point. I would not have thought of that if you had not said it. Very good.
Yeah.
Is Jesus says the end, it will be as it was in the days of Noah.
In the days of Noah.
In the days of Noah.
Is before the flood.
Before the flood. And so if you look at this body, modesty, people. Okay, but if you look at the feet, if you have the mixture here, then you have Babylon, the first Babylon under Nimrod. Then you have the Egyptians. Then you have the Assyrians. Then you have the Babylonians. Then you have the Medes and the Persians. Then you have Greece, Rome. Then you get back to, and Jesus says, as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the coming days.
So what was in the days of Noah?
That's a really good question.
So what are the feet?
Oh, what are the feetsies?
What are the footsies?
Some people and different takes might have said that's much cuter.
Feetsies.
Feetsies, yes. That's wasn't feeding you lines there at all. Yes, the feetsies. Okay, so what's up with the feetsies? All right. Well, that's a very good question. Yeah, very good question.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Feetsies.
I'm so smart. I know these things. Okay, feetsies, right? Okay.
Feetsies.
So the feetsies, well, what they need is they need fast acting tenacity. Some athletes, because
that's why it's clay. It's mixed.
It's a mixture. Well, that's an interesting thing. Now, again, some people, there's a lot of different interpretations about the metals and all this. Mm-hmm. But I think, my thing, if all these kingdoms of men, all right, if all these kingdoms, the human kingdoms, are all metals, then this clay is something that's not human. There's something different. There's something wrong about it. Okay? Yeah. And if you go back to how it was before the flood, and you study that time, Genesis 6 talks about this and elsewhere. So the feet before the flood, this mixture of humans and angelic, and this is what you have in Genesis 6. Yeah. And you actually get this in mythology, the half God, half man, half bloods. You get this in even a lot of movies nowadays will mention this. The immortals and all these kind of things. So this is the idea of this. If you look at it as an upside down menorah, and you have this pattern. So as it was in the days of Noah, so shall be, or as it was in the days of Noah, so shall be in the coming of the days of the Son of Man. And Noah, of course, lived on both sides of the flood. So you could argue he was a contemporary of Nimrod, probably knew Nimrod. Nimrod was his great grandson. Okay, but he also knew about what happened before the flood too. So he knew both.
Yeah.
So if you do this upside down menorah, and you look at the pattern. Now, this is an interesting thing about patterns. In Western and Greek culture and Greek thought, everything is linear. What's a linear thing?
Line.
A line. Yeah, it's straight. You know, you're born, you live, you die. Whereas in Eastern And there's actually an interesting thing if you do this with books. If you look at languages east of Jerusalem, they all go, of course, if you have a map here, yeah. So if you go east of Jerusalem, they all go right to left. And if you go west of Jerusalem, they all go left to right. That's interesting. So they all kind of come back toward Jerusalem. But also the way of thought, if you go west of Jerusalem, you have this linear thought. If you go east of Jerusalem, the religions east of Jerusalem have this cyclical thought. Yeah. And of course, Hebrew has both. Hebrew has both linear and cyclical. And so when we read the Bible, we read it linearly, and we kind of miss a lot of things. So this cycle, as it was in the days of Noah, Jesus says there's this pattern. Yeah. And it's interesting. The church kind of has a similar pattern as well. Where we're re-entering, I believe, and many others, that we're re-entering the days of Acts, where the Jews and Gentiles come back together. Anyway, that's kind of interesting. Yeah. So, if only there were a question.
Oh, yeah. I have a question, Father. Father, I have a question.
Yes, dearest one.
What about the rock that comes in that you failed to mention?
Oh, yes, in the dream. Thank you for reminding me of things I had not said. Okay, so in the dream that Nebuchadnezzar has, there is this rock, and Nebuchadnezzar was, he was really into music, and he was really the first rock and roll artist. Rock and roll. He is this rock and roll. So rock and roll, and this rock came down. It was not taken by human hands. It was out, and it came down and crushed, and it hit at the feet, which is interesting because the two destructions of the world are where this mixture of iron and clay. Yeah. First one with the flood, and then the second one when Jesus comes back. Yeah. And it destroys. And so Christians believe Jesus is that rock in the kingdom of God. Well, it's interesting because the Bible also says he is the stone that the builders rejected, which kind of gets into some of that Masonic stuff, because a lot of your Gnostic things have to do with this idea of builders and the architect and master builder, which is interesting. So the stone that the builders rejected has become the cornerstone. So Jesus comes down, destroys it all, and boom.
And then makes his own kingdom with the rock. In a dream. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is our first little ditty. Yeah. And this is on Nebbie's dream. Nebbie's dream. Now the next one, I know this is a very concerning subject. Concerning. Cons. The conning of America.
Cons.
Oh wait, no.
Pros and cons.
No. I'm sorry. CERN. That's right. CERN. Yeah. CERN. Oh. Well, we're going to be covering that next time. Anna comes up here, and we'll be talking about Apollyon and quantum physics and the abyss. Well, until the end of the world scenario comes up and we all die, shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom. Kitty-o, patio. What are you doing?